Dad was clearly the richest man in the country. But he hid his identity and worked on a construction site for 2.5 years, and made me ride an old tricycle during the day to pick up trash on the street. At night, I worked as a dishwasher at a restaurant to earn tuition money. I used to think I was just some poor loser. Until the day one graduated from college. He pulled up with 10 long wheelbase Rolls Royces in sequence. Luxury cars. And hundreds of young, beautiful women stood behind them. In the hands of those girls, they held rare antiques worth tens of millions, and property deeds to mansions all over the city. All of these were graduation gifts for me. Turns out Dad made me live a tough life for over 20 years, just to help me build good habits. Having no clue about any of this, I was clutching my savings from pinching pennies, heading to a dinner date at a 5-star hotel my girlfriend had reserved. But she ended up breaking up with me. Hun, you really need to see yourself clearly. I eat at places like this all the time. It's nothing to me. But you, this must be the best outfit you have. My girlfriend Chin Mingyu's words left me speechless. I just came from the most ordinary family you can imagine. Yet she carried a bag worth over 100,000 yuan without a second thought. Sitting here in this environment, Chin Mingyu's eyes radiate confidence. While I just felt completely out of place, I didn't even know how to call over the waiter. Looking at the French food on the table in front of me, I didn't even know how to eat it. That sense of defeat overwhelmed me. All right, Mingyu, it's getting late. We should head back. A handsome young man walked over to the table. He gently spoke to Chin Mingyu. This guy was sharply dressed, and the Porsche keys in his hand really caught my eye. He gallantly helped Chin Mingyu to her feet.
He never even looked at me once.
Compared to his stylish suit, the outfit I wore cost less than 200 yuan altogether. It seemed almost laughable. Chin Mingyu showed a faint smile on her elegant face. We're done. She left the restaurant, holding the man's arm. The striking Porsche outside the entrance roared its engine. A few gossiping waiters had already noticed what was happening over here. Once Chin Mingyu left, a waitress came over and quietly asked, "Sir, would you like us to clear these?" Chin Mingyu's words kept echoing in my mind. The most hurtful things aren't shouting and cursing, but contempt. The waitress saw me not responding, glanced at my cheap casual clothes, sneered a little and said, "Sir, I'm taking these away," she said, reaching toward the plates in front of me. I suddenly snapped my head up, staring at the waitress before me. My pupils were bloodshot. My voice was a little hoarse as I barked. "Did I tell you to clear them?" The waitress was startled by my sudden reaction. She instinctively took a step back. I pressed on, staring at her. "Did I say you could clear them? Is this how 5-star hotels treat their guests?" That shout drew attention from everyone around. Most people looked at the waitress. She felt totally embarrassed, judging me for looking so shabby. She snapped back. "Why are you taking it out on me? Your girlfriend dumped you. Go yell at someone else. You didn't say a word earlier. Now you're gonna act like this? No wonder she dumped you." I was so angry I laughed. Suddenly flipped the table in front of me. The waitress just sneered back. "Go ahead. See if you can afford to pay for it. You think this is the place for you to act wild? Security, come here and watch him. Don't let him get away." 2.5 minutes later, I sat in the hotel lobby looking totally defeated. That waitress was nearby, mocking me as she looked at the table I trashed. The plates and table decorations cost nearly 10,000 yuan. She really wanted to see what I was going to do next. Just then, 2 middle-aged men entered through the hotel doors. One was my father. The other was old Zhao, our neighbor. Dad's brows were furrowed tightly, and his steps seemed especially heavy. He carried an air of suppressed anger. I hurried up to him, lowered my head. "Dad, I know 10,000 yuan isn't a small sum." Dad even brought Uncle Zhao with him, probably because our family can't afford to cover this. After all, we've never been well off. I thought I was about to get an earful, but then Dad calmly said, "Smash it." I was stunned for a moment. Han Fu exhaled a puff of smoke slowly. "You're upset today. If you want to break things, go ahead. I'll take care of everything." As soon as Dad finished,
He picked up the chair next to him.
and hurled it at a floor-to-ceiling window. A crisp sound rang out. The hotel window shattered completely. The waitress's face changed. This kid, Even brought in an older guy who acts just as crazy. Who told you to behave like this? The waitress immediately yelled. I rushed in to stop my dad. Dad, please. I know I was wrong. Han Fu yelled to old Zhao. Smash it, Zhao. Old Zhao looked fierce. He didn't look like someone you'd want to mess with. Picked up a chair and started smashing things around. All the expensive decorations got knocked over and broken. The luxurious hotel lobby turned into a wreck. I just stood there, totally stunned. This is crazy, completely crazy. You all just love breaking stuff, huh? Causing chaos in a brand new hotel. Let's see how you leave today. You'll lose everything paying for all this. The waitress screamed loudly. Han Fu waved a hand indifferently. Little girl, no matter how much we pay, it'll go to the hotel. Has nothing to do with you. Why are you yelling? Go get your boss, and tell the boss to come see us. Who do you think you are? The waitress pointed at Han Fu. A bunch of troublemakers. None of you are getting away. While the waitress was yelling, a Mercedes G worth nearly 2 million yuan stopped urgently at the hotel entrance. The car door opened, and a middle-aged man stepped out. The waitress's face lit up. The boss is here. The hotel boss looked gloomy, walking quickly.
He strode right up to Han Fu.
Looking angrier than ever, Han Fu looked at the gloomy hotel boss before him and chuckled. Looks like your management skills aren't impressive. I know my son's personality. If I let him smash things, he'll hold back for nothing. The hotel boss nearly collapsed, kneeling before Han Fu, full of respect. Sorry, big boss. The hotel boss's words stunned me and the waitress both. Even the security guards. Only old Zhao's expression remained unchanged. He still stood behind Han Fu with a stern face. This man is the big boss. The waitress's face suddenly turned pale. It was the boss himself who called her out by name. There's no way that's wrong. I'm breaking some things in my own hotel. Do I really need to report that to you? Han Fu looked up at the waitress. Let me ask you, is it okay if I smash my own things? The waitress was so scared she couldn't say a single word. The phone in her hand slipped and fell to the floor with a thud. What my dad said made my brain freeze. Starcy Hotel is the largest scale hotel in Vegetable City. I used to just glance at it with envy every time I passed by. If Qin Mingyu hadn't asked me to come this time, I might never have come to this kind of hotel. But now, this hotel actually belongs to my family. I know my father's personality. He's not the type to joke around. Looking at the hotel owner's reaction, it doesn't seem like he's joking either. So it turns out I'm a second-generation rich kid, and honestly, my head is spinning. All right, you brat. You were too naive before. That's why your mom and I didn't tell you a lot of things. Let's go. It's time you knew, and I made everything clear to you. Han Fu stood up and walked toward the private elevator in the hotel lobby. Old Zhao, you wait here for me. Seeing the big boss leave, the hotel owner finally let out a sigh of relief. He got up and walked over to the waitress.
He snapped. Pack up your stuff and get lost.
Scram, I'll personally check the security footage later. If I find out you've broken any of the hotel's service rules, just wait and see how much you'll have to pay. Panic was written all over the waitress's face. She was full of regret. Who would have imagined that this loser who just got dumped would turn out to be the hotel owner's son? Outside the hotel, inside a Porsche speeding down the road. Mingyu, after your graduation ceremony is over, we can park up ahead together. I'm a little tired. Qin Mingyu, sitting in the passenger seat, gently rubbed her forehead and spoke softly. Ji Boda saw that Qin Mingyu insisted and had no choice but to agree. Qin Mingyu got out of the car. It was close to dusk at this time. The clouds in the sky were glowing red. Qin Mingyu turned to look toward the new hotel. In her mind, she couldn't help but picture Zhao Han in the hotel just now. Her boyfriend looked so pale, quiet and speechless. It made Qin Mingyu feel as if her heart was being wrenched. If she had a choice, she truly didn't want to hurt Zhao Han. But growing up in a family like this, so much is out of one's hands. Her family would never allow her to be with an ordinary person, no matter how much she liked Zhao Han. I'm sorry, Qin Mingyu murmured. Her delicate face was completely drained of color. On the day of the graduation ceremony, that will probably be the last time we see each other. In the luxurious office on the top floor of the new hotel, I looked a bit uneasy sitting there. 2.5 minutes later, An elderly man who appeared to be in his 60s entered the office. He glanced at my father, and at the two of us, father and son. Young Master Liu Chun. From now on, this brat is your responsibility. Aren't there a lot of auctions around lately? Take this kid along to a few, so he can get a sense of what kind of status our Han family really has in Vegetable City. Lao Chun gave a slight bow. Understood. Han Fu glanced at me. The Han family's business can't be explained in just a couple of sentences. So just hang out with Lao Chun and learn as you go. Here's this card. Take it and use it. I took a look at it and instinctively asked how much money is inside. Why are you asking? With your current ability, you definitely can't spend it all. Just use it. About that little girl from the Chin family, I looked into her. They have a small company in Silver City, nothing special. But their Chin family is from the An family clan over there. How about this? I'll just buy out the Chin family business of the An family for you. And have the Chin girl come be your secretary. Then you can bully her however you want. I was shocked again. I hardly know anything about Chin Mingyu's family background. When we were dating, she never mentioned it either. But I'm not stupid.
It's obvious from daily life.
Chin Mingyu's family must be one of those real elite families. And to hear my dad say he could just buy out the Chin family's business, I couldn't help but get excited. But I quickly said, Dad, let me handle my own stuff with her. Han Fu nodded. Then the Silver City business is your responsibility now. It's just as well since you just graduated. Your mom and I have both worked so hard for years. It's time for us to travel a bit and take a break. At that moment, my phone suddenly rang. I saw it was a call from my dorm mate. Zhaohan, where are you? Let's have a hangout before graduation. Tonight our boss picked Elephant Bar. It costs thousands just for basic stuff here. We've got to make the boss pay big tonight. Hurry to the bar. We're waiting for you outside. The guy on the phone sounded totally fired up. Before I could reply, he hung up on me. Han Fu grinned knowingly. All right, go hang out and enjoy yourself with your buddies. I have an assignment for you. Spend $1 million first. I was speechless. Is my dad trying to get me used to burning money or what? I took a cab to Elephant Bar. It's the best nightclub in Silver City. When I got there, I immediately spotted my dorm mates, my 3 brothers and 4 girls, all standing at the entrance of the bar looking around. All 4 girls looked super impatient. Obviously, they didn't want to stay anymore. Zhaohan, hurry up. We're just waiting for you. As soon as the 3rd guy from my dorm saw me, he ran right over. The 4 girls only greeted me half-heartedly, even though I look pretty decent. My cheap-looking clothes look worthless in this glitzy place, no matter how good your face looks.
Inside the club.
Our dorm leader, Qi Shui, actually brought out 1,500 today, hoping to really splurge. But who would have thought? $1,500 only covers minimum spending here. After buying 12 beers, the money was gone, and they sat in the most hidden corner, where there wasn't even any lighting. The 4 girls came over and sat down, looking instantly annoyed. 8 people, but only 12 beers. Seriously? What's the most important thing at a club? It's all about appearances. Isn't that Qi Shui over there? Even the poor try to keep up here. Why are there only a few beers at the club? They're all too stingy to even drink. That broke Zhao Han is here too. Got dumped by Qin Mingyu and came here to drown his sorrows. A mocking voice rang out. A young man was standing there, swaying their bodies to the nightclub's dynamic music. His name is Wang Ji. He's also a student at Yen University. A rich 2nd-generation kid. By his junior year, he was already driving a BMW 3 Series. Wherever he went, girls' eyes were always drawn to him. He lived such a proud life. When Wang Ji spoke, Qi Shui and the other 2 couldn't help but look at me. They had just learned about my breakup with Qin Mingyu. Qin Mingyu is an absolute legend at Yen University. The people pursuing Qin Mingyu lined up from the South Campus all the way to the North Campus. But no one expected that Qin Mingyu would ultimately choose Zhao Han. This made me nearly the enemy of all the guys at school, and brought about a lot of jealousy. How is my business related to you? I glanced at Wang Ji. What does anything I say have to do with you? Wang Ji was completely dismissive. After saying that, he ignored me. Instead, he looked at the 4 girls Qi Shui invited over. Hey Beauties, how about coming over to my table for a couple of drinks later? Wang Ji pointed at his seat as he spoke. It's near the center of the bar. On his table, there were 2 bottles of imported liquor, costing 5 or 6,000 each. There was lighting on the table. It was quite extravagant. The 4 girls' eyes lit up immediately when they saw that. But they still said, "We won't go. We just wanted to sit for a bit and then leave." Because of Wang Ji's disruption, Qi Shui and the others instantly lost the mood to have fun. If they hadn't spent over 1,000 yuan today, they would have left. The 4 girls said they needed to use the restroom. But after waiting for a full half-hour, none of them came back. Qi Shui glanced at the crowded bar, feeling a bit anxious. Where are Liu Lu and the others? Could something have happened to them? Old Third from the dorm smirked disdainfully, then pointed his finger. "Look over there, Qi Shui." Following Old Third's pointing direction, we saw that Liu Lu and the other 3 girls had already gone over to Wang Ji's table at some point. They were having a great time drinking there. When Qi Shui saw this, he slapped the table, stood up and walked toward Lulu and the girls. "Lulu, what are you doing? You said you wanted to go to the elephant to have fun. You asked me to bring you, but now you're drinking with someone else. What do you mean, what am I doing?" Lulu looked at Qi Shui with utter disdain. "You brought me here, but only ordered 12 bottles of beer. That's embarrassing enough." Wang Ji burst out laughing. "I already said, poor guys shouldn't even try to pick up girls. Is the elephant really a place for you guys to hang out?" I nodded in agreement. "Yeah, that's definitely not how you play here." I shouted loudly, "Waiter." The waiter immediately came over. "Bro. Hello, what can I do for you?" "Open the biggest table right in the middle for me." I pointed at the very center of the bar. When Qi Shui and the others heard that, they quickly tried to stop me. "Zhaohan, are you crazy? The minimum spend at that table is 15 grand. Don't be stupid." When Wang Ji heard that,
He burst out laughing.
"Waiter, ignore him. He can't afford it. Don't pay attention to idiots like him." I pulled out a card from my pocket and slapped it hard on the table. "Put out your 9,800 yuan bottle of Armand de Brignac. The best looking one. Bring me as many bottles as you have." When the waiter heard that, his first reaction was disbelief. "Armand de Brignac, 9,800 yuan a bottle. Bring out all of them in the store. How much would that cost?" But when he saw the card I pulled out, he became extremely tempted. If this is real, he has no idea how much commission he'll earn tonight. Soon the bar manager arrived. He heard from the waiter about the distinguished guest who wanted every bottle of Armand de Brignac in the store. He acted very politely, "Bro. We still have exactly 88 bottles of Armand de Brignac. It'll total up to a charge of 1 million yuan." I waved my hand. "Do as you like. Bring it up for me." The manager's POS machine made a soft beep, meaning the card payment succeeded. At that moment, both the manager and the waiter were filled with overwhelming joy. With 1 million yuan, their commissions would total 100,000. Meanwhile, Qi Shui and his 2 friends, along with Wen Ji and Lulu's crew, were completely stunned. "Is this real? Zhaohan, this so-called poor guy just spent 1 million yuan. The other guests who were spending thousands or tens of thousands all looked at me with envy. I could feel all sorts of eyes on me. I had never felt this kind of attention before. "Qinmingyu, oh Qinmingyu, you really taught me a lesson." I then suddenly opened my eyes and looked at those 88 bottles of Armand de Brignac. Normally people would store these bottles before leaving and take them out next time they came back. That would make them the center of attention again. But I'm obviously not one of them. And I didn't even know the wine could be stored. "Just open all these bottles for me. Open them all." Even the waiter was confused. "We can't finish all this wine. If you can't finish, then just pour it on the floor." Almost 1 million yuan worth of wine poured on the floor. Today, the waiter finally saw what a true rich person looks like. Wang Ji, who was previously so arrogant, now didn't have a hint of pride on his face. He meekly walked up to me. "Brother Han, I really didn't understand anything before. Sorry for offending you, Brother Han." Wang Ji now called me bro. This was a night of utter extravagance, especially wild. I lay back on the sofa, eyes slightly closed. Images of dinner earlier came to mind. The disdain in Qin Mingyu's eyes made my heart ache. I woke up from sleep, All I felt was a splitting headache. Yesterday was way too exciting. Drank way too much. To the point where I can't remember anything after that. I vaguely remember old Chun going to the bar entrance and taking me back to his hotel. I rubbed my temples, looked around. I was in a luxurious room. I took out my phone and found that the class group chat was blowing up. Messages kept coming in, one after another. Did you hear? Lubin has already opened his own company. He's recruiting at our school on graduation day. That's amazing. He started his own company right after graduation. Look at what Lubai's dad does. By the way, have you heard of Joe Group? What's the name of their general manager? G. Boda from a big company. They're also recruiting on graduation day. This is a great opportunity. If you ask me, Zhao Han has the best chance at these hires. He has great grades for big companies like this. The counselor will definitely give Zhao Han priority. Zhao Han has. Qin Mingyu hardly needs us to worry about her. Qin Mingyu probably already has everything arranged for her. I glanced at the messages on my phone and tossed it aside. When I see the name Qin Mingyu, my heart aches so much. And there's that name, Ji Boda. I only found out last night after Wang Ji mentioned it. I remembered I have to attend an auction this afternoon. I checked the time. It was almost noon. So I headed to the restaurant. Just as I entered the restaurant, I saw two people approaching me, Qin Mingyu and Ji Boda. Deep down, Qin Mingyu really doesn't want to interact with Ji Boda. Over the years, the only person who truly entered her heart was Zhao Han. But the family's orders made it impossible for her to refuse. When she saw her ex-boyfriend walking towards her, Qin Mingyu looked genuinely surprised. Originally, she was a bit distant from Ji Boda, but quickly walked over to his side and took his arm. That scene made my pupils contract slightly. Ji Boda gave a slight smile. Interesting. I remember the prices at this hotel aren't cheap. How can all these people afford to stay here? Who knows? Qin Mingyu glanced at me and let out a soft laugh. That soft laugh sounded so harsh to me. Ji Boda snapped his fingers stylishly, calling over the waiter. He summoned the waiter and skillfully ordered some dishes. I shouted at the waiter, which was the complete opposite of Ji Boda's polite and gentlemanly style, forming two extremes. Then I pointed to Ji Boda's table. Whatever they ordered, bring me double of that. Ji Boda's eyes showed a mocking look. The dishes arrived quickly. Back then, before eating, she'd always call someone husband. But now she's moved on. I said it on purpose. Qin Mingyu blushed deeply, her heart breaking a little. This kid is just making stuff up. When did she ever say that? I could clearly see Ji Boda's expression change. I just wanted to discuss Ji Boda, let you act all high and mighty. I grabbed a lobster and went on talking. Back then, you always fed me the first bite. TSK, times have changed. My voice drifted right into the ears of Qin Mingyu and Ji Boda. Zhao Han, that's enough. Qin Mingyu slammed the table, stood up and stared at me. I looked at Qin Mingyu confused. Miss, does my eating and talking have anything to do with you? Qin Mingyu tried to calm herself down, then picked up her bag from the table. Let's go, she said, and walked out of the restaurant briskly, without looking back. Ji Boda hurriedly chased after her. Mingyu, you don't need to bother with that kind of person. As I watched Qin Mingyu's departing figure, the smug smile on my face disappeared. Even the delicious food in front of me tasted like wax. Forget it. I'm not eating anymore. I got up frustrated. Qin Mingyu sat in the hotel lobby, trying to calm herself. What made her angry wasn't what I said. Qin Mingyu wouldn't care at all. She didn't care what Ji Boda thought. What upset her was Zhao Han suddenly seemed like a completely different person. She used to be studious, gentle and steady. But now, I looked like some uneducated delinquent. She didn't want to see this kind of kid. Qin Mingyu turned and saw Ji Boda chasing after her. But her gaze didn't linger on Ji Boda for more than a second. She looked past him and saw me, getting up sadly. In that moment, most of Qin Mingyu's anger faded. After all, she could only blame herself for hurting him. Suddenly, Qin Mingyu thought of something. Why is he still here? She suddenly thought of a possibility. She walked up to the front desk and asked about Zhao Han. The receptionist checked and told Miss Qin Mingyu. Mr. Han always charges everything to the room. Qin Mingyu sighed deeply. Did I say something too harsh yesterday? Maybe I got to him. Thinking that, Chen Mingyu took out her phone too. Add 30,000 or maybe 50,000 to Mr. Han's tab. After Chen Mingyu scanned the QR code, she silently left the front desk. It looked strange. The young master was spending money at his own hotel. So why would someone else come to settle the bill for him? Half an hour later, I came to the front desk. Clear the bill for my room. Young master, a lady surnamed Chin. Already put 50,000 yuan on your account. Surnamed Chin? My expression darkened instantly. I slammed my fist onto the front desk, startling the girl at the counter. I muttered to myself, Chin Mingyu, do you really think this is a way to compensate me? Do I need your charity? I don't need it at all. Then I suddenly roared. Return that woman's money to her right now. Old Chan was following right behind me. Regarding my reaction, Old Chan appeared very calm. Young master, the schedule for this afternoon is an auction. After walking out of the hotel, Chin Mingyu drove her own Mercedes-Benz C-Class. For someone of her net worth, this car seemed very low-key. In the car, Chin Mingyu answered her phone. Mom, I know, I'll be at the auction this afternoon. At the hotel entrance, Old Chan was driving, and I sat in the back seat, looking through some materials Old Chan had given me. Some were about my family's basic assets, and others were a list of the members attending today's auction, and the items up for bid. Young master, the master has given instructions regarding today's items. You can bid on anything you like. No one is a match for us. Old Chan's voice was flat as he drove, sounding very confident. At 4 p.m., the auction venue was set in Kiishi, at the highest tier private club in the city. At this time, the front of the club was filled with luxury cars. As soon as I got out of the car, I saw many handsome men and beautiful women standing in front of the club, all chatting very familiarly with each other. When these people saw my unfamiliar face, they all cast curious glances. After all, the circle in Keishi was only so big. Every time a newcomer entered, they would usually know in advance. To them, my entrance seemed far too rustic. Kid, what's your background? A young man who looked to be about 25 or 26 years old walked up to me. You look very unfamiliar. Have you paid your respects to the locals yet? Paid respects? My brow furrowed slightly. On the way here, Old Chan had told me some common knowledge about this circle. But as for the term paying respects, I hadn't heard Old Chan mention it. The young man shook his head, speaking in a lecturing tone. In this little corner of Kaishi, there's only so much business to go around. You want to come in and play without paying your respects? Didn't your elders teach you anything about the rules? Someone else chimed in from the side. They haven't even learned the rules. Yet these nouveau rich types keep showing up. Each generation is more annoying than the last. In everyone's gaze toward me, there was a sense of condescension. The silver jewelry circle does indeed have a tradition of paying respects. It is my fault for not explaining it clearly to my young master. At this moment, Old Chan walked over from a short distance away. However, young master, it has always been others who pay respects to us. There is no such thing as us paying respects to others. Anyone who wants to make a living in Kaishi must have the Han family's approval. The condescending middle-aged men, upon seeing Old Chan, immediately put on a respectful front. They all bowed in unison. Mr. Chan, Old Chan bowed slightly to me, young master. The people who had just been mocking me all looked at each other in shock and uncertainty. Their faces turned exceptionally pale. They had originally intended to give the newcomer a reality check. But who could have imagined that this was actually the heir to the Han family? Brother, what happened just now was my fault. Please don't take it to heart. Those who had acted indifferent toward me earlier all swarmed forward now, regardless of their age. They all addressed me as brother. The status of the Han family was something they simply could not afford to offend. Entering the club, the hall had been meticulously arranged with a magnificent stage. Below the stage were rows of high-end individual sofas separated from one another. On each individual sofa, the name of the person assigned to the seat was written. I looked around and did not see my own name. However, the names Chin Mingyu and Ji Boda, appearing there, caught my attention. Young master, we are over there. Old Chan pointed toward the second floor. On the second floor of the club, there was a private box with one-way glass. The massive floor-to-ceiling window allowed one to see everything outside from within the private box, while preventing those outside from seeing in. Soon, the auction began. A professional host built up the atmosphere on stage. Beautiful assistants held the items in their hands, waiting for the audience to bid. I sat there watching the entire process, without making a single bid from beginning to end. Old Chun couldn't help but remind me, young master, although no one here can compete with us, you should still participate a bit for the sake of it. Just bid on a couple of things for fun. Just then, the next item appeared. It was a pair of stamps. They were rare, out-of-print editions. For those who love stamps, they were a once-in-a-lifetime find. Qin Mingyu, who hadn't bid on anything yet, finally raised her bidding paddle. 100,000, Mingyu. Are you interested in stamps? Sitting beside Qin Mingyu, Ji Boda asked curiously. Qin Mingyu shook her head slightly. An elder is having a birthday. He loves collecting stamps. My mother specifically asked me to come here to buy these two rare editions. Stamps as a hobby don't have an audience as wide as famous paintings or antiques. But by coincidence, there were two other collectors in Kaishi. Soon, the price of the stamps was pushed to 500,000. The little beauty of the Qin family really wants them. Then I'll just have to part with them. The middle-aged man who had been bidding against Qin Mingyu laughed loudly. Qin Mingyu nodded slightly. Thank you for your generosity. Seeing that the bidding had ended, the host spoke up. 500,000 going once. 500,000. Going twice. 1 million. Inside the VIP room on the top floor of the club, Old Chan's voice suddenly rang out. If it were something she just liked for herself, Qin Mingyu would certainly have chosen to give up, but this time it was for an elder's birthday. Qin Mingyu took a deep breath and raised her bidding paddle. Before Qin Mingyu could even state her price, Old Chan's voice rang out again. 2 million. Qin Mingyu bit her red lip. 2 million for 2 stamps. This was obviously far beyond the actual value of the stamps themselves. Seeing Qin Mingyu like this, Ji Boda immediately stepped up to the plate. Mingyu, don't worry. I will definitely get these stamps for you. No one can stop me, I say. After making his guarantee to Qin Mingyu with a thump on his chest, Ji Boda stood up and looked toward the upper floor. Brother, I am Ji Boda of the Zhou family from Anhui province. These stamps are a favorite item of an elder. If possible, I hope you can let go, brother. Ji Boda finished speaking. He waved his bidding paddle in the air. 3 million. 3 million. First call, 3 million. Second call. Just as the host was about to announce 3 million for the third time, Old Chun, who had been quiet for a while, spoke up. No matter what price he offers, I'll add 1 million more. Old Chun's words instantly caused a commotion. The Han family really knows how to show off their wealth. Inside the private suite on the club's second floor, Old Chun stood next to me. Young master, although we're the richest ones here, it's still better not to bully others too much. I looked out the window. Suddenly I spoke. Old Chun, how's Ji family's business doing? Old Chun answered without hesitation. The Ji family is in Ontario. Their main business is some channel trading. They're doing pretty well. They're pretty highly ranked in Ontario. I extended one hand. 4 fingers. I tapped them repeatedly on the table in front of me. I need all the information on the Ji family, including their partners. Old Chun looked at me. His heart skipped a beat. As for me, Han Fu, I've always been raised strictly. But as I grew up, I was always under Han Fu's watchful eye. My university mentors were specially hired elite instructors by Han Fu. They provided targeted training. Throughout my studies, I always studied very diligently. That's why Old Chun absolutely trusts my abilities. This is also why Han Fu is so confident that when I was about to graduate, he handed over all the companies in the vegetable market to me to manage, for me to run them. Now, what Old Chun saw in my eyes was a strong sense of aggression. Young master wants to make a move against the Ji family. Ji Boda took a deep breath. A smile appeared on his face. My friend, business people value having more friends, more opportunities. This stamp is something an elder loves. I must get it. Ji Boda made his determination clear. Then raised the bidding paddle. 5 million. After Jiboda finished bidding, he sat there silently. He looked completely confident. Once again, the upstairs suite went silent. Looks like the G family is even fiercer. After both families showed their resolve, Han's family backed down. The host picked up the wooden gavel. 5 million first call. 5 million second call. Didn't you hear what I said earlier? Old Chun's voice rang out again. There was a lot of anger in his tone. No matter how much he offers, we'll add another million. Han Jie made another bold statement. Ji Boda, who thought he had it in the bag, looked incredibly upset. The Han family is really crazy. Is a single stamp really worth all this? And you, Han family, haven't you heard of my Ji family? The host on stage was very quick-witted. He immediately brought it to a close with one strike. This stamp goes to the Han family. I never looked at the stamp the whole time. My gaze stayed fixed on Qin Mingyu. I murmured under my breath. When will you finally let go of your pride? Yesterday when we broke up, Qin Mingyu's indifferent attitude was deeply etched in my mind. I couldn't shake it off. Those two stamps auctioned at sky-high prices were also delivered to Old Chun. I left the club through the VIP passage. Hanjie, you sure spend generously. Spending 6 million for two stamps. Looks like you're not as down-to-earth as you seem. A beautiful woman slowly walked toward me. She had a gentle smile on her face. She took the initiative to extend her hand to me. Hanjie, my name is Li Nuo. I'm Li Chaoying's daughter. I started searching my mind for a Li Chaoying. He works in real estate. He has some status in the vegetable market. I reached out my hand as well. Just as our hands met, I saw Qin Mingyu and Jiboda walking over together. I grabbed Li Muo's wrist and pulled her tightly into my arms. I've got time tonight. The two looked very intimate, and this scene was caught by Qin Mingyu and Jiboda as they passed by. Seeing such a beautiful short-haired woman nestled in someone's arms, Qin Mingyu's expression suddenly turned unnatural. In that moment, he actually felt the urge to pull the two apart. Jiboda let out a cold laugh. This Zhao Han definitely knows how to handle women. But a man should still have some ambition. Otherwise, if all you think about is living off a woman, you're no different from social trash. After Qin Mingyu and Jiboda got in the car, Li Nuo, who had been leaning on me, got up. She flashed me a charming smile. All right, they're gone, Jij. You don't need to hold me for the act anymore. I helped you out a lot, so remember to invite me to dinner. Here's my phone number. Li Nuo slipped a note into my hand. She turned around, leaving a fragrant scent behind. Inside a Porsche, Qin Mingyu looked through the rearview mirror and saw Li Nuo's graceful figure. Her pretty face looked a bit pale. Mingyu, what's wrong? Jiboda tried to grab Qin Mingyu's hand, but Qin Mingyu dodged. Qin Mingyu brushed the stray hair from her forehead and shook her head. It's nothing, I just feel a little unwell. Pull over up ahead. I'm heading back first. Qin Mingyu had unknowingly clenched her fist. Images kept flashing through her mind. The scene just now of Li Nuo leaning in Shahan's arms. Qin Mingyu, you're the one who let go. From now on, he has nothing to do with you anymore. Qin Mingyu told herself this in her heart. Tomorrow should be the last time we meet. Qin Mingyu muttered. A shimmer glazed her eyes and quietly started to well up. Old Chan's car had already pulled up in front of me. I took a deep breath. Tomorrow is the graduation ceremony. Young master, there's a file about some newly emerging groups. Anyone wanting to join our circle must get your approval. One of them is your classmate. Named Lu Bai. Old Chan sat in the passenger seat, reporting some things to me. I nodded. Without saying a word, Lu Bai knows his own story. He's arrogant, but I barely have any contact with him. Back at the hotel, Old Chun brought me some info about the G family, including their investment projects and trade channels, and all kinds of asset details. It was late at night. A plan to deal with the G family had been completely mapped out on my computer. I hope your ability matches your arrogance. G Boda, and you all still want into the Kishi business circle. Interesting. Early the next morning, I headed to school. Shahan, you're here. Our campus genius. Received scholarships for all 4 years. Now that you're graduating, I'm sure tons of companies want to hire you. If you ask me, Qin Mingyu probably already has her Mr. Right lined up. All arranged. As for Qin Mingyu's family background, Most people have heard of it, more or less. As soon as those words were spoken, many eyes turned to Qin Mingyu. Facing all that attention, Qin Mingyu smiled calmly. I've already broken up with Shahan. Good for you. Someone burst out laughing. I told you. Why could a loser like Shahan end up with Mingyu anyway? Everyone turned toward the speaker. The guy was named Lu Bai. He's 6'1" and pretty good looking. Shahan, you really should take a good look in the mirror. Take a hard look at yourself. What about you matches Qin Mingyu? Lu Bai sneered as he walked up to me. I looked him up and down. You think I don't measure up? And you think you do? Even a dog would know better than to start barking this early. What the hell did you just say? A curse shot up immediately. One of Lu Bai's lackeys from the class rushed at me and started shoving me, obviously wanting to start a fight over nothing. Classmates quickly tried to mediate, but that lackey just wouldn't let it go. Forget it, why bother with this kind of guy? He's just a broke loser. Lu Bai shrugged. Hurry, hurry. The recruiting is starting. If you're slow, you won't make it. This year's graduation job fair was especially packed. Loads of famous companies came to hire. The grads were all giving it their best, introducing themselves, handing in their resumes. Lu Bai, who is also a graduating student, was nowhere to be found in the crowd submitting resumes. On the contrary, he was sitting at one of the recruiters' tables, sitting under a sun umbrella, drinking an iced beverage, chatting cheerfully with other companies, looking extremely relaxed. I glanced over at Lu Bai, and just then he looked back at me. Lu Bai smiled. Shahan, want to come interview at my company? We still need someone to clean the bathrooms. I think it suits you perfectly. Lu Bai's remark triggered a wave of laughter. Lu Bai, you're so bad. Come on, Shahan won a scholarship for all 4 years. But in your company, he'd be cleaning toilets. A pretty female student kept sending flirty glances at Lu Bai. At that moment, so many people looked my way and shook their heads in pity. Lu Bai is clearly one of those privileged types. In a small city like Keishi, the rich all move in the same circle. If you offend Lu Bai, it's almost impossible to get anywhere in Yanxi.
It really is tough.
Hey, classmate, I reviewed your resume. It fits our company's needs perfectly. Unlike others who are frantically applying everywhere. For Qin Mingyu, tons of companies reached out to her directly. There are too many women who have both talent and good looks that companies want. Guys, let's leave it at that. Ji Boda walked up to Qin Mingyu. He's already vice president at our G group. I think our G group's VP can't be any worse than anyone else here. All those companies offering Qin Mingyu a spot were instantly stunned. News of G Group entering Keishi's market had spread everywhere. Remember, Tsai Group is a provincial capital company. Their capital reserves are beyond massive. Once Zhou Group joins Tsai Group, they'll definitely stir up Yanxi's business world with a storm of fierce competition. Outside the main gate of Tsai University, Old Chan was looking at his phone. Master, I understand. Everything is arranged. Right now, we've got 18 companies under us. The paperwork is ready. In a bit, Master will sign off. Behind Old Chan, there were 10 Rolls-Royce cars lined up, with sequential plates. The scene made all the passers-by stare. No one's ever seen anything this extravagant in Yanxi. Meanwhile, at this job fair, I was completely isolated. But it didn't really bother me. The only reason I came was to keep my roommate Qi Shui company. Then suddenly, Shahan. Someone shouted. Everyone looked over, all wondering who else would still talk to Shahan the Jinx. Qi Shui and 2 others came running up to me. Bro, if you guys came any later, the job fair would be over. Seeing the 3 of them, I smiled. These college years, our dorm buddies became very close. Definitely shared both the good and the bad times. Always stuck together. Qi Shui was out of breath. Yeah, all because you went so wild that night. I still feel hungover today. Woke up with a fuzzy head. Qi Shui chuckled awkwardly. Lan Jian looked a little shy. Clearly things were going well with Lulu. Don't tease the boss. Hurry up and go apply. I nudged them from the side. It was only then that the 3 realized what today was about. He hurriedly clutched his resume and walked toward the booths matching his major. Brother Lu Bai, you've seen my resume before. Lao San, the 3rd roommate, walked up to Lu Bai with his resume. They had just arrived and didn't know. about the conflict that had occurred between Lu Bai and me earlier. Lu Bai glanced at the resume Lao San handed over, then gave a cold sneer, and threw it directly into the nearby trash can.
He even muttered the word trash under his breath.
This single move left Lao San standing there in a daze. Brother Lu Bai, what is the meaning of this? We had an agreement before. Who the hell do you think you are? Lu Bai showed no mercy at all, cursing him out right in front of everyone. Let me make this clear right now. Anyone associated with Zhao Han, don't even think about getting into my company. Do you understand? Once he said that, Lao San instantly understood the reason. Lu Bai, who the hell do you think you are? I don't even want this damn job anymore. On the other side, Qi Shui and the second roommate were both holding their resumes, standing before the HR of the G group. They had submitted their resumes to the G group before, and had been in contact, just as Qi Shui and the other were about to sign the agreement. Ji Boda appeared. He glanced at the two of them, and directly waved at the HR person, telling these two to get lost. Our G group doesn't need anyone associated with Zhao Han either. After those words were spoken, the expressions of Qi Shui and the other changed instantly. They never imagined that Zhao Han would also have a grudge against the G group. Lu Bai's family had quite a status in Sai City, but the G group was an absolute powerhouse. If they said the word, most local enterprises would have to show them some respect. So after those two finished speaking, all the other companies took the resumes they had just received from the three roommates and threw them into the trash cans nearby. Obviously, they had no intention over such small matters of offending a giant like the G group. The subtle actions of the major companies were naturally noticed. The three roommates clenched their fists in anger. Outside the school gate, under Uncle Chen's direction, 10 Rolls-Royces with sequential license plates lined up in a row. Behind these 10 Rolls-Royces was a fleet of supercars, all brand new, without even license plates yet. These were all graduation gifts Han Fu was going to give me. And behind these supercars stood no fewer than 100 young women. In each of their hands, they held a tray. The trays were all covered with silk embroidered with gold thread. On them were not just precious collectibles, but also property deeds and titles from various locations. Every single one was enough for an ordinary person to struggle for a lifetime. At this moment, Uncle Chen held the phone. Master, everything is fully prepared. The school has also been notified through the principal. We'll arrange for the convoy to enter in a moment. The news hasn't leaked. The young master still doesn't know anything. Well done. Han Fu praised over the phone. That little girl from the Qin family actually looked down on my son. It's truly ridiculous. By the way, how is the investigation into Zhao Han's roommates going? Their backgrounds are clean. That's good. When Zhao Han was in school, those roommates of his helped him quite a bit. We aren't ungrateful people. Arrange some positions for them later, and let them gain some experience. Han Fu gave the order. I won't be returning to the country for a while. Zhao Han is still young, so look after him more. Don't worry, master. Uncle Chan replied respectfully. Then he picked up a walkie-talkie and commanded. Prepare to enter. Keep the speed synchronized. Have the helicopters ready as well. Outside the campus, the massive scene attracted countless onlookers. Everyone was waiting to watch me become a laughingstock. Who was Lu Bai? His old man has at least tens of millions in assets. Now he's directly investing to start a company for his son. With a single move, he had 5 million in revenue. And what about Ji Boda, the CEO of the G Group in Silver City? Being targeted by these two? How the hell could anyone survive in Sai City? Qin Mingyu stood to the side, watching her ex-boyfriend being attacked by the crowd. She hesitated to speak many times. If it weren't for the pressure from her family, Qin Mingyu would have definitely stood up immediately. Just then, an impatient voice rang out. Wang Ji, dressed in designer clothes, walked out of the crowd.
He shouted toward Ji Boda and Lu Bai. You guys...
There's no need to take it this far. Wang Shi, since when was it your turn to stick your head out? This came from Lu Bai. Between rich kids, there had always been a sort of hidden rivalry. They were often compared to each other. With so many comparisons, the two of them had become bitter rivals. Wang Ji turned his gaze toward Ji Boda. CEO Ji, right? Do you really think your father has that much power in the G Group? Have you never considered that Zhao Hang is someone you can't afford to offend? A burst of loud laughter erupted throughout the recruitment scene. Zhao Han is someone Brother Lu Bai can't afford to offend. Has young Master Wang lost his mind?
Tell me.
Is someone going to suddenly rush in and call me master right to my face, saying the 3-year term is up? Ji Boda glanced at Qin Mingyu beside him. Mingyu, it seems your previous taste was truly terrible. We're just about done with things here today. Let's head out first. Ji Boda pointed toward the campus parking lot. There was a brand new Ferrari parked there, standing out as the most unique. That was the car Ji Boda had just picked up. Wow, that's seriously cool. Praise could be heard. Ji Boda couldn't help feeling proud. Ji Boda instinctively glanced over at the parking lot. But just as his eyes swept across the lot, 10 brand new Rolls-Royces, all with consecutive plates, came into Ji Boda's view. This left Ji Boda genuinely shocked.
10 Rolls-Royces.
Even the cheapest Phantom costs over 7 million yuan. And with all the custom options included, each one would cost over 10 million. 10 cars, that's 100 million total. In a small place like Silver City, whose family gives wedding gifts like this. All 10 Rolls-Royces were moving at the same speed, forming a single line. They slowly drove toward the job fair. The sight was a massive visual shock. No one was bothering to make fun of me anymore. Everyone whipped out their phones, crazily filming the whole scene. Oh my god, look. There are helicopters. Damn, how many helicopters are there? There's even a banner hanging below. Every helicopter has one beneath it. Congratulations, young master, on finishing your studies. Successful graduation. Ji Boda took a deep breath. Although his own Ji family could put on this kind of spectacle too, the Ji family would never do this just for a graduating family member. Not even for a pre-designated heir. Not even if you were the predetermined successor. The next moment, all 10 Rolls-Royce doors opened at once, and a driver stepped out from each car. Every one of them was wearing a black suit, with immaculate white gloves, and sunglasses on their faces. They stood straight next to the cars. This scene left everyone even more stunned. An elderly man who looked quite senior stepped out from the lineup. It was Old Chan, with everyone's eyes on him. Old Chan slowly walked up to me, amid the shocked stares of the crowd. Old Chan gave me a very gentlemanly bow. Congratulations to the young master on graduating from college. Old Chan's voice wasn't loud, but it was clear enough for everyone to hear. Right after Old Chan finished speaking, the drivers standing by each car, and the 100 handsome girls holding silver trays, all bowed deeply. Even the angle of their bows was perfectly synchronized. Congratulations to the young master on graduating from college. The uniformed voices rang out. There was an indescribable power in their words. At the job fair, everyone was frozen in shock. Lu Bai, who'd just mocked me saying I'd end up cleaning toilets after graduating, was now so regretful he was about to lose his mind. Ji Boda clenched his fists, filled with rage. How could this guy possibly have that kind of wealth? What did he do to deserve it? As for my ex-girlfriend Qin Mingyu, her bright eyes were now filled with complicated emotions. I looked at Old Chan in front of me, and then at the helicopters in the sky, letting out a helpless smile. Old Chan, did you really have to make such a big scene? Old Chan shook his head slightly. Young master, the master only gave the orders 2 days ago. Time was short, and the preparations are insufficient. Honestly, this spectacle isn't all that big. I quickly cut off my butler, Old Chan. The sudden change in my identity has already been a lot for me to handle. And now you pull something like this, suddenly turning the tables. My aura hasn't caught up yet. Young master, following the master's wishes. All of these are graduation gifts prepared for you. Old Chan snapped his fingers. In the 100-member formation, the 10 Changsam beauties in the front row all stepped forward, holding their trays. Then, they all unveiled the golden silk cloth covering the trays at once. A crisp voice was heard from each one, reading out what was on their tray. One apartment at Bishui Spring City, 2,500 square meters. 73% share of Yibao Media. 92% share of Xiang Group. Not until all 10 beauties finished reading was the crowd utterly stunned. Old Chan bowed deeply again. Young master's first batch of gifts is from the master. Companies prepared for your graduation. You may choose any one of them. and decide how to run it. The entire office tower at the CBD is your residence. If you're not satisfied, there are another 9 homes with different styles for you to pick from. Old Chan's words made every student at the job fair gasp in shock again. So many corporations. You can run whichever one you want. Pick any Tycoon. The entire CBD building belongs to Zhao Han. Just a moment ago, Lu Bai was bragging about his company investing 5 million with over 300 square meters of office space. But those 300 square meters are nothing compared to an entire building. That's not even worth mentioning. All right, Lu Bai's eyes went wide, filled with jealousy and anger. He just couldn't figure it out. How did this guy, who'd been poor for 20 years, pull this off? But if he knew I was the heir to the Han Group, he'd probably already be on his knees right now. I watched as the second row of Chansum Beauties walked up. Honestly, it was a bit overwhelming. There were so many people here. I waved my hand at Old Chun. Old Chun, that's enough. Let's not read each one individually. Very well, young master. Old Chun bowed. All the assets will be listed in detail and delivered to you, young master. You have a total of 17 companies under your name. You can have someone help manage any of these 17 companies. After Old Chun finished speaking, he glanced at Qi Shui and the others beside me. I immediately understood what Old Chun meant. I patted Qi Shui and the other 2 on the shoulders on the spot.
Guys.
You all heard those company names. You can pick whichever one you want to work at. If you think you can handle it, you could even be general manager. As soon as I said that, in that instant, at least 100 envious stares fell on Qi Shui and his friends. Everyone had just been mocking them, saying that because they were connected to me, they wouldn't even get an internship. Their resumes had been tossed in the trash. But now these 3 who were just made fun of suddenly could pick from a dozen companies to hold any position they wanted. Being a general manager at such companies is way better than Lu Bai trying to start his own business. Alright, the people closest to Lu Bai and Jiboda already started moving awkwardly away, distancing themselves from Qi Shui, while their own people were slowly surrounding Qi Shui and his group. After that, I ran straight out the college gate. As I ran, I turned to look at Qin Mingyu's direction, and Qin Mingyu's eyes never left me. When our eyes met for a second, I couldn't help but smile. Qin Mingyu, you looked down on me for being poor, and broke up with me. But just look at me now. Does it seem like I'm poor? Zhao Han, I know you're loaded, but this is just too much. At this school of ours, your deeds will be talked about for at least the next 10 years. My third roommate gave me a thumbs up. Qin Mingyu watched me until I disappeared. She continued to stare blankly in that direction, feeling both happy and lost. Happy about her ex-boyfriend's sudden change in status, yet lost because she hadn't held on to their love. She ignored Jiboda, who was standing to the side, and started walking out of the school. At the same time, she pulled out her phone and made a call. Qiaoling, I've graduated. Come grab a drink with me. Elephant Bar. Jiboda watched Qin Mingyu's behavior, his face turning livid. However, he faintly heard Qin Mingyu mention getting a drink. His eyes darkened, and he also pulled out his phone. Keep an eye on her for me. Find out where Qin Mingyu is going to drink, and have someone check some license plates for me. The cars ranging from Sai 0000 to Sai 9999.
10 p.m.
After I finished up with graduation matters, and was just about to head home, I received a phone call. The incoming number was unfamiliar. A sweet, coquettish voice came through once the call connected. Brother Han, you're so heartless. I pretended to be your girlfriend yesterday and got hated on for it. You said you'd treat me to dinner, but I didn't even get a single phone call. It really breaks my heart. Brother Han. That nickname immediately reminded me of someone. Li Nuo. Her glamorous image naturally surfaced in my mind. To be honest, I couldn't quite handle this bold girl from a wealthy family. In the environment I grew up in, when would I ever have contact with such a temptress? Sorry, I was busy with graduation today. How about I treat you to dinner tomorrow? No, tomorrow is too late. I played your girlfriend yesterday, so now you have to return the favor. My boyfriend is at my family's elephant bar. Since you spent $1 million last time, I'll have the general manager give you your membership card. The elephant bar is owned by your family? I was stunned for a moment. Yeah, and my family left me in charge of managing it. I really appreciate your $1 million spend last time, brother. Li Nuo giggled and hung up the phone. I could only manage a wry smile and caught a cab to the Elephant Bar. Meanwhile, Qin Mingyu parked her car at the Elephant Bar. At the bar entrance, a trendy blonde-haired girl immediately started waving her hands the moment she saw Qin Mingyu. Mingyu, Mingyu. Seeing the woman, a rare, genuine smile appeared on Qin Mingyu's face. Qiaoling, you're rushing me to death. Oh, come on, how can I not be in a hurry? How many times have I asked you out for a drink? Let's go, let's go. There are bound to be plenty of handsome guys tonight. Qiaoling strode forward, grabbed Qin Mingyu's arm, and headed into the Elephant Bar. She chattered all the way, seeming exceptionally happy. Half an hour later, I also arrived at the bar. After providing the booth info at the door, someone led me inside the bar. Li Nuo's booth was slightly off-center. At Li Nuo's table, there were several other men and women. You're here? Li Nuo smiled when she saw me, her face instantly filling with joy. She lunged forward and hugged my arm. I clearly noticed that the way two men were looking at me was already full of hostility. Wow, Li Nuo, not bad. He's quite handsome. Since when? Have you been keeping him all to yourself? Two beautiful women sized me up from head to toe. Though they said nice things, there was more or less some disdain in their eyes. After all, the clothes I was wearing were too cheap. This is my friend Little Han. Li Nuo held my arm playfully. While introducing me to the people at the table, I took a look. There were exactly 3 men and 3 women at the table. Everyone else was in pairs, except for Li Nuo, and the man who was looking at me with displeasure. The specific situation of tonight's drinking session became clear to me. Now that Li Nuo had called me over, I had naturally become a target. Recalling the waiter's attitude toward Li Nuo earlier, I guessed that Li Nuo hadn't told anyone present that her family owned the Elephant Bar. So I decided to play along and pretend I didn't know. Brother, you're late. You should have a few penalty drinks. The man who was unhappy with me spoke. He was sitting right in the center of the booth. Clearly, he was the one paying for the drinks. I acted generous and bold, picking up 3 glasses and downing them. Brother, I'll drink with you. The other 2 men immediately got up to challenge me, obviously trying to get me drunk, to leave an opening for the man in the center. Outside the Elephant Bar, Boda answered the phone with a gloomy expression. He spoke directly. How is the investigation going? President G, we've found out. The license plates from SIO 000 to SI 9999 all belong to a car rental company. I also had someone ask around. The 2,500 square meter penthouse at Le Shui Estates was never actually sold. Listening to the voice on the phone, the gloom on Boda's face finally faded, replaced by a smirk. I knew it was all fake. You like to pretend, huh? Zhao invited so many people and rented all those luxury cars. Did he have to have his parents sell their house just to afford the rental fees? Boda happily hangs up the phone. That kid really likes to put on a show. Trying to show off in front of Mingyu, huh? I'll make sure to tell Mingyu all about what you did. Boda walks into Elephant Bar. The person tailing greets him. Qin Mingyu is sitting in one of the booths inside the bar. I've already had quite a few drinks. Li Nuo is also being pulled by 2 women to sit next to the man in the middle. She sees a pervy hand getting closer and closer. Li Nuo quickly stands up, sweeps her bangs aside, and makes up an excuse about going to the bathroom before leaving in a hurry. The man in the middle stares at Li Nuo's back intensely. He licks his lips. This Li Nuo really has an attitude. What's he got to be arrogant about? One of the women scoffs. Always carrying a designer bag every day. Who knows if it's real or fake? Every time you ask what his family does, he won't say. With that attitude, he's probably just trying to hike up his own price. Raising the price is fine. The man in the middle looks completely unimpressed. What I'm worried about is if he's priceless. Anything that can be settled with money is no big deal. As he talks, the man rolls up his sleeve, revealing the green turtle watch that's been hyped up to 110,000. The flash of it immediately makes the 2 women's eyes light up. They knew this guy had money, but they didn't expect him to be this loaded. Li Nuo's such a lucky jerk. They've known Lee Nuo for 2 or 3 years now and have a pretty good relationship, but they actually don't know a thing about Lee Nuo's family background. This time, since their boyfriend said a friend was coming to visit and asked them to help introduce a girl, promising them some benefits afterwards, the two figured they might as well bring Lee Nuo out, saying it's to set Lee Nuo up. They originally thought this guy was a little bourgeois, since he ordered bottles worth tens of thousands at the bar. But now they see, he is far from bourgeois. He's just plain rich. If we had known, we'd have tried for him ourselves. But the women also know. It's no use regretting now. The best they can do is send Lee Nuo quickly to the boss's bed. That way, they'll get a bigger cut of the benefit. At the booth, the man calls for a waiter, 3 bottles of Ace of Spades. Under the admiring eyes of the two women, he swipes his card for 30,000. For the two women. A man who casually spends 30,000 like that is just too attractive. The man puts his phone away, a little pained. Took me several payments to save up and it's all gone again. Look at that guy. He's just so tacky, right? The two women blatantly point at me. That outfit he's wearing is totally unremarkable. So much so that sitting next to him feels embarrassing. Trust me, bro. Once Lee Nuo sees these 3 bottles of Ace of Spades, he'll definitely throw himself at you. The two women flatter the man while posting to their social media. As for me, they've totally forgotten about me and aren't paying any more attention at all. Under the flashing club lights, Boda enters the bar and immediately spots Chin Mingyu sitting there. Even surrounded by all these beauties, Chin Mingyu still stands out like a star. Mingyu Boda strides over. Chin Mingyu hears the sound, turns her head and sees Boda. Her eyebrows knit ever so slightly. She certainly didn't ask Boda to follow her. Mingyu, let me explain. Boda waves his hands quickly. I'm just worried about you. You know that. That Zhao Han guy never learns. He's capable of anything. I had someone check it out. All that drama he put on today were all fake actors and rentals. I even heard he mortgaged his family home just to scrape together the money to pay those actors. Chin Mingyu looks at Boda and just shrugs indifferently. I've already broken up with him. Whether it's true or not, what meaning does it even have now? After Chin Mingyu finished speaking, Zhao Han's face flashes in her mind. She really never expected what she said that day would have such a huge impact on him. Mortgaged the house, hired actors. What will he do from now on? Noticing that Chin Mingyu looks a bit displeased. My bad. Tonight's drinks are on me. Boda quickly waves over a server. Open video service for me. At that moment, the DJ's voice booms out, filling the bar. Boda from table B8. President G is opening videos now. Ace of Spades wishes President G big money every year and a lifetime of happiness with Miss Chin Mingyu. The DJ's voice blasts through the club. Obviously, what he said was signaled by Boda. 10 bottles of sparkling Ace of Spades are carried high over people's heads, making a circle around the bar, and under the envious gaze of everyone, arrives at Boda's table. Boda is beaming with pride at the table, while both Chin Mingyu and Qiao Ling look really annoyed. Neither of them lack money. They just came to the bar for a drink and to relax. But as soon as Boda shows up,
He has to make such a big scene.
at Li Nuo's table, the two women had all their attention on the nearby man. But now they're all focused on Boda, buying 3 bottles of Ace of Spades versus 10 bottles. Those are 2 completely different levels. Alright. My attention is also drawn by the DJ's announcement. When I see Chin Mingyu sitting with Boda, my face immediately darkens. I refuse the drinks pushed by the 2 men next to me. Take a deep breath, grab my jacket, and get ready to leave. Hey kid, what's your problem? Being offered a drink and not appreciating it? We bought you this drink. What? 2,000 a bottle isn't good enough for you. Both men look unhappy. Damn it, we gave you that drink as a sign of respect. And yet here you are acting ungrateful. Because of the DJ's announcement, the bar music paused and the place got quiet. When these 2 men started shouting, a lot of people started looking over, including everyone at Boda's table. Hey, isn't that Zhao Han? Didn't he mortgage his house? Acted all fancy during the day. And now he's at a bar putting up a front at night. Boda just bursts out laughing. That whole line about mortgaging a house just to show off gets a bunch of curious glances. Mortgaging a house just to show off? How brainless can someone be? The two women next to Lee Nuo break out laughing too. Lee Nuo, your boyfriend's really eager, huh? Lee Nuo just looks at Jiboda like he's an idiot. About the Ji family moving into the produce market, Lee Nuo is aware. To publicly pick a fight and smear the Han family, young Master Ji must have a death wish. I glance at Jiboda, but don't say anything. As I slip on my jacket, while heading towards the bar entrance, I only took 2 steps when I was stopped by someone. Hello, Mr. Han. Hello? I finally get to meet you. I'm the general manager of this bar. Standing in front of me was a middle-aged man. He bowed to me respectfully. At the same time, he glanced over at Lee Nuo in the booth. He claimed to be the owner of Elephant Bar. Mr. Han, your last name is Su. I looked at the middle-aged man in front of me, puzzled, and asked strangely, Boss Su, what's up? Here's the thing, Mr. Han. Previously, you spent 1 million at our establishment in a single transaction. The manager didn't make things clear to you at the time. We directly credited your membership card and also gifted you an additional 1 million. We just couldn't reach you all this time. Now we've finally met you today. So we're hurrying to deliver your card. Normally speaking, when spending at a bar, if no one says anything about recharging a card beforehand, who would just top up a card on their own? But Boss Su isn't stupid either. Anyone who can spend like that must be a big deal. This kind of person is definitely worth befriending. So what if it costs a little extra? It's just a little less profit anyway. Boss Su didn't speak loudly, but his words were clearly heard by those in the nearby booths. Spent 1 million. The two women next to Lee Nuo were completely stunned. The host's bill tonight was 30 or 40,000. That already had their eyes wide open. Just seeing Jiboda order 100,000 yuan worth of drinks a moment ago, they were practically ready to throw themselves at him. Yet this so-called poor guy invited by Lee Nuo actually spent 1 million. And the key point is, it was a one-time $1 million spend. The two who just forced drinks and cursed it at me were now frozen in place, speechless, thinking about what they had just said. Those two probably wanted to bury their heads out of embarrassment. Jiboda, who was sitting next to Qin Mingyu, stood up and looked at Boss Su and questioned Boss Su. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? A one-time purchase of 1 million? The few people at Lee Nuo's table instantly tensed up. Now, what they really wanted was to hear Boss Su say, he made a mistake. Boss Su glanced at Jiboda, waved his hand and replied, Sir, for our VIP bar customers, I absolutely wouldn't make a mistake. Mr. Han, here's your card. I glanced at the card handed over by Boss Su, but didn't reach out to take it. Boss Su, are you saying there's still 1 million left on this card? That's right, Mr. Han. Boss Su nodded. I glanced over at the DJ booth again, then continued. I saw earlier someone ordered drinks, and the DJ made an announcement for them. So use this 1 million to give me 100 bottles of almond. And have your DJ say something for me too? Of course, no problem. Boss Su waved his hand. The bar manager who was waiting nearby hurried over. Serve Mr. Han 100 bottles of almond. I smiled. Send 2 bottles to every table. By the way, what did that DJ just say? Wished Mr. Ji and Miss Qin a lifetime of happiness, right? Then have him say this instead. Congratulations to Mr. Ji and Miss Qin on their breakup. As soon as I said that, Jiboda and Boss Su's expressions changed immediately. But all the guests nearby started cheering. There's some drama here. Besides, this rich guy just sent every table almond. And each bottle is 10,000. Gave away 1 million just like that. Boss Su looked uneasy as well. Although the one-time 1 million spender is a VIP, those who spend 100,000 at once aren't easy to offend either. This put Boss Su in a difficult position. Han, I know where your money came from. You mortgaged your family's house to show off. But that's not enough to act arrogant in front of me. Jiboda stood up. This is a society ruled by law now. But do you believe, if you walk out of this bar, you won't see the sunrise tomorrow? Wow, listen to you. If I hadn't lived here since childhood, I'd think this city belonged to the Ji family. Lee Nuo, sitting on the side, suddenly stood up. When Jiboda saw Lee Nuo, his expression changed slightly. He recognized this woman. He had seen her at the auction. She was with a local Tsai Group company. When Boss Su saw Li Nuo, he rushed over. With an ingratiating smile. Miss, why didn't you tell me you were coming? The way Boss Su treats Li Nuo left those sitting with Li Nuo in the booth even more stunned. What's going on? You have to notify the owner before coming to your own bar. Didn't you hear what my brother Han said? Whatever he said, just do it. Li Nuo waved her hand impatiently. Her own bar. Everyone at Li Nuo's table was totally confused. So, Elephant Bar belongs to Li Nuo's family. As soon as Li Nuo spoke, Boss Du didn't hesitate at all. He waved at the DJ booth. All 100 bottles of almond were sparkling, held high and carried over, delivered to every table. And the DJ's voice sounded at that moment. Congratulations to the dumbass Mr. G and Miss Chin on their breakup. Just a second ago, it was best wishes for a happily ever after. Now it instantly did a 180. For Jiboda, this was utterly humiliating. I walked up to Jiboda's table, looked at Jiboda, and finally stopped at Chin Mingyu's face, and smiled slightly. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening. After saying that, I waved and walked away. Li Nuo glanced at President Su, and said just one thing. Have the DJ shout that all night for me. Once Li Nuo finished, she hurried after me, ran out of the bar. Jiboda was just someone others envied. But now everyone in the bar is watching Jiboda, all with amused expressions on their faces. Jiboda clenched his fist tightly. The DJ's voice kept slapping him in the face, watching me as I walked away. Jiboda snarled. Thinks she's hooked up with a rich kid. And now she wants to challenge me, Jiboda. Just wait. I'll soon wipe that smile off your face. I'll make you kneel before me, begging me for forgiveness, crying. Outside the bar, I waved my hand. A Rolls-Royce slowly pulled up in front of me. Old Chun got out from the driver's seat and opened the back door for me. I got into the car smoothly. Before closing the door, I glanced at Li Meng. All right, you helped me out today again. I'll treat you to dinner sometime. Forget it, Hanbro. I can't wait for some other time. Li Nuo shook her head. In a few days, an elder will be celebrating a birthday. You should go too. Let's get together then. Okay, I waved my hand. Closed the car door, leaning back on the seat. The car started up slowly. I took a deep breath, turned to look out the window. The front door of Elephant Bar. Is it really no big deal? I'm trying to convince myself. Chin Mingyu is just a woman who loves money. Otherwise, why would she leave because of her family's issues? That night, the words Chin Mingyu said still echo in my mind. Inside Shanghai Hotel, I'm sitting in the office at the top floor. On the desk is old Chun's freshly brewed hangover tea and some documents. I've been sitting here ever since I got back, going through all the companies I'm supposed to inherit, looking at those rows of data. It's hard to imagine. So many familiar companies are actually owned by my family. Young master, it's getting late. You should rest. Old Chun refilled my teacup with hot water. 3 days from now is the Luo royal family's birthday banquet. The old master helped the royal family before. This time, they invited the young master and you should go. To show your face. That stamp you bought last time happens to be what the royal family's patriarch likes. It can be given as a birthday gift. Of course, you don't have to bring anything. Just showing up is the most precious gift for the royal family. All right, let's give them the stamp. As for showing face stuff, that's my dad's job. I'm just a kid. I don't have that kind of status yet. I smiled. Old Chun nodded. Then I'll have someone prepare it. By the way, young master, a few new companies want to enter. You have to approve this. Let me know when you have time. They can come over then. I glanced at the clock on the wall. Let's do it tomorrow. It's 11 p.m. now. Lu Bai is tossing and turning in bed, unable to sleep. What happened today? For Lu Bai was a huge emotional roller coaster. He was mocking Zhao Han and happy. But who knew the other guy had that kind of background? Even a helicopter and stuff from Graduation Island showed up. Just now, Lu Bai got a phone call. The caller claimed to be Jiboda's secretary. He told Lu Bai everything Zhao Han did today was fake. The people were rented. The real estate, everything was made up. They sent people to check out those properties. Actually, the sales manager at Bishui Spring City got a call today and was pretty confused. Why would someone suddenly ask about the penthouse? That penthouse isn't for sale. Is it reserved for the boss? After getting that call, Lu Bai's anxiety vanished. He hated that back at school. He let a poor kid fool him. If he got another chance, he'd definitely expose him and slap him hard. But what matters most to him right now is waiting for some news. His new company at the vegetable market. There's a circle among these companies. Without the approval of the circle's boss, no one can get in. Lu Bai is lying in bed thinking about meeting that big shot. Suddenly, his phone buzzes with a new message. He checks the sender. His heart skips a beat. Opens the message. It's from an elder he hired. The content makes Lu Bai ecstatic. That big shot agreed to meet Lu Bai tomorrow. Lu Bai knows plenty hope to join the circle this time. The big shot will see everyone together tomorrow. All at once. But whatever, getting to meet this big shot is an incredible honor. It'll be great for conversation later. With this news, Lu Bai is too excited to sleep. He sits up straight, practicing how he'll act when he meets the big shot tomorrow, and how he should present himself.
8 a.m.
The alarm clock rings. I rub my sleepy eyes. Head to the hotel's buffet restaurant to solve breakfast. At the same time, Lu Bai, with excitement in his heart, arrives at the new hotel's buffet restaurant. After hearing the news that he'd meet the big shot today, he didn't sleep all night. Came to the new hotel early in the morning, planning to have some buffet, just waiting to meet the big shot. Last night, he also heard from the uncle elder. The meeting would be held at the new hotel today. Lu Bai gets some food, sits at his table, and sees me not far away. As soon as he sees Zhao Han, Lu Bai gets furious. His good mood is mostly gone. Hey, isn't that Zhao Han? Why are you eating breakfast at a 5-star hotel too? Almost forgot young Master Han's identity these days. That's legit, a super rich guy. With young Master Han's wealth, why not buy the city's best hotel already? I took a slice of beef and put it in my mouth, chewing as I spoke. The new hotel belongs to my family. Lu Bai secretly rolled his eyes, cursing inside. What a show-off. Oh my god. Zhao Han, you're way too low-key. The new hotel is all yours. Since that's the case, we're old classmates. Can't you just say something and let my breakfast be free? Breakfast here is 138 per person. But for Lu Bai, that's nothing. Still, Lu Bai knows. For someone who likes to show off, 138 is enough to make him flinch. He got embarrassed yesterday. Today he wants payback. Lu Bai is more than happy to do it. I thought for a moment, then shook my head. Sorry, no free meal. I checked the hotel financials yesterday for the finance side of things. Free meals are a hassle. We're all classmates. But I can treat you to breakfast. I'll transfer the money to you. You can just pay as usual yourself. Lu Bai showed a smiling face. Thank you so much. I was the one who offended you before. Sorry, Lu Bai said while
Taking out his phone to get paid.
I nodded, reached into my pocket, but suddenly frowned, found my pocket completely empty. Then gave Lu Bai an embarrassed smile. Sorry, I forgot my phone. How about this? You pay the bill first, and after I finish eating and go home, I'll transfer the money to Zhao Han. Is that okay? Lu Bai's expression suddenly changed, from a full smile to mockery. Do you really enjoy putting on this act? Lu Bai threw his knife and fork onto the table in front of him, making a clattering sound. You put on quite a show yesterday. Jiboda said you even mortgaged your house. Impressive, you're really going all out with this facade. After saying that, he turned and left. I glanced at Lu Bai's back, shook my head, and didn't bother anymore. For me right now, I really don't care to argue with someone like Lu Bai. With that time, I might as well spend more time learning about management and investment.
10 a.m.
I drank a strong cup of tea to wake up and headed to the reception hall. In the largest reception hall of Shinkai Hotel was a long table that could seat 20. Lu Bai sat in the most inconspicuous spot by the table, so nervous that his body was shaking. Do better in a bit. Don't embarrass yourself here. Sitting next to Lu Bai was a middle-aged man. He was Lu Bai's elder. His uncle was also somewhat respected in Kaishi. The reason Lu Bai could come this time was entirely thanks to his uncle's connections. I understood. Uncle Lu Bai responded very humbly. The doors to the reception hall opened. An elderly man walked in first. The moment he entered, almost everyone in the reception hall stood up at once. Although Lu Bai didn't know who the old man was, seeing everyone else like that, He stood up as well. Elder Chun. All throughout the hall people were saying the name. Extremely respectful. Lu Bai looked at Elder Chun. His brows furrowed slightly. Uncle Liu, I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Lu Bai looked at Elder Chun. Kept thinking he looked familiar. Elder Chun is Mr. Han's housekeeper. He usually doesn't show his face. Don't overthink it. So many people have met Elder Chun. It's not your turn. Uncle Liu snapped. Old Chun walked to the main seat at the long table, gesturing with both hands for everyone to sit. Everyone quickly thanked him, and only then dared to sit down again. However, just when everyone thought Old Chun would take the main seat, they discovered he actually sat in the seat next to the main one. This action made everyone stare in shock. Elder Chun sitting in the secondary seat. Does that mean Mr. Han will appear today? At that thought, everyone who had been keeping calm all night suddenly got excited. Everyone, Old Chun spoke. Old Chun began talking. The whole hall went dead silent. Everyone held their breath and listened quietly. You all should have heard through some channels that from now on the business of the group will be handed over to the young master. As for our Han family matters, they will all be decided solely by the young master. Remember this. I said solely. I think what I said. Everyone should understand. Yes, understand. Understood. The others quickly agreed, not daring to slack off in the slightest. About 3 minutes later, footsteps sounded outside the hall. The moment those steps were heard, everyone's heart skipped a beat. Zhao Han, as soon as Lu Bai saw that face, he couldn't help but cry out in surprise. Shut up. Uncle Liu quickly shot Lu Bai a glare and scolded him sharply. Lu Bai immediately realized his mistake and hurriedly shut up. Everyone stood up. I walked through the door and headed straight for the main seat at the table. Once Old Chun got up and pulled my chair out, I sat down slowly. The man of the hour today, the future head of the Han family, had arrived. This process left Lu Bai completely blank. He finally remembered why Elder Chun looked so familiar. Wasn't it Elder Chun yesterday, who in front of everyone congratulated Zhao Han on graduating? Everyone, please sit. My voice rang out. Although it was my first time at such an event, I seemed completely at ease, all thanks to practicing all morning. Being born and raised in Kaishi, Lu Bai knew all too well the Han family's status. Since childhood, from what he'd heard from the older generation, he already knew Han's status in Kaishi was like that of gods. For over a decade, they were the rulers of the city. Zhao Han is the Han family's heir. Lu Bai recalled what he just said in the restaurant. He wished he could slap himself twice. He was just in the restaurant, insulting the Han family heir, someone who could decide his fate. Lu Bai's face went pale like paper. Utterly ashen. Everyone, this is our first time meeting. Let me introduce myself. My name is Xiao Han. I may have quite a bit of contact with everyone here from now on. Everyone, I trust you've all made adequate preparations. Now you can give me your proposals. When I spoke, my tone and pace were steady but unhurried. Old Chun couldn't help but nod approvingly beside me. The young master's performance exceeded his expectations. As soon as my words fell, outside the living room door, 13 young women in professional attire walked in. They collected the documents handed over by everyone present, then neatly arranged them in front of me. I flipped through the documents at a steady pace. An hour and a half later, all files from the 13 companies were reviewed. I closed the last file, pondered for a moment. Gaoshou Engineering, Waxian Trading, Lian Heavy Industries. I read aloud the names of 9 companies in a row. The ones I just named. You may all leave now. The heads of the 9 companies I called out. All looked ashen, as if all their strength had left them. They slumped in their chairs. Old Chun glanced around at everyone. Please leave. Some people stood up. Their expressions were several times worse than failing a college entrance exam. Lu Bai slumped there. Among the companies I just named, was his as well? While everyone else was leaving in disappointment, Lu Bai suddenly stood up and shouted my name. Lu Bai's actions made everyone look at him like he was crazy. Old Chun furrowed his brows. Uncle Liu, next to Lu Bai, rushed forward and slapped Lu Bai straight across the face. The sound was crisp and loud. What are you doing? Uncle Liu grabbed Lu Bai by the collar and dragged him out of the room. This shows Uncle Liu is on very good terms with Lu Bai's family. If it were just an average relationship, after Lu Bai's earlier outburst, they would have distanced themselves without hesitation. It's fine, I waved my hand. Let him speak, Mr. Han. Uncle Liu forced a smile. Old Chan looked a bit impatient and scolded. Didn't you hear what young master said? Let him speak. Lu Bai stared at me. Zhao Han, I know I've wronged you before, but I'm telling you, what you have now is only what your father gave you, with your kind of narrow mind. I, Lu Bai, might not necessarily end up worse than you. The proposal our company made, I'm not saying it's the best, but it's definitely among the top 3 here. You kicked me out. Isn't it just personal? Grievance, right?
Hearing this, I suddenly smiled.
Then pulled out Lu Bai's proposal. Flipping through it, I said, Lu Bai, your company's plan views Keishi as a development base. Basically, you're treating it as a springboard. The main focus will be on top-tier and emerging cities, right? Wu Bai nodded, looking very confident. For our company, the development trend isn't something a small city like Keishi can satisfy. I smiled. I thought you started a company. At least you'd have your own ideas. Now I see you don't even understand the basics. You have no idea what the market actually needs. Keishi is a developing city and was one of the 2 VR tourism cities specially approved by the higher-ups. Yet you focus on improving the city's comfort level, trying to boost housing prices that way. Do you even know how many people Keishi loses each day? Do you know how many outsiders move into Keishi? You can't even figure out basic policies. Why should I work with you? Just because you bought a so-called excellent, but actually worthless proposal for Keishi from someone else? As I spoke, I threw Lu Bai's proposal onto the table. The sound of it hitting the table startled everyone in the room. Lu Bai's body shuddered slightly. For the questions I just raised, he knew nothing. Not even information about the so-called tourism city plan. He wasn't clear on that either. I looked at Lu Bai's stunned expression, with a slight smile on my lips. Lu Bai, learn to walk before you try to run. And the rest of you companies, it's the same. Don't just bring something you think is good and rush it here. What you consider good is garbage in the current market. For the next 2 days, I was busy with various Han family businesses. One morning, Old Chun brought over an invitation card and placed it on my desk. Young master, this is an invitation from Luohei's royal family. Today is Elder Huang's birthday, and the Huangs sincerely invite you to Luo. The royal family's fleet is ready at any time for you. I'd already heard about the royal birthday celebration from Old Chun earlier, and made up my mind. I nodded. No need to trouble them. Old Chun, arrange for someone to drive me over. There's a lunch meeting today with the cultural tourism side. You go take care of that. Understood. Old Chin bowed and left.
10 minutes later.
A Maybach parked in front of the newly opened hotel. When I came downstairs, the driver was in a black suit, wearing white gloves, and already had the car door open, waiting for me. Luo is almost an hour's drive from Kaishi. The Wang's status in Luo is like the Hans in Kaishi, but both Keishi and Luo belong to Ning Province. With Keishi as the provincial capital of Ning Province, the Han family naturally stands above the royal family. Elder Huang's grand birthday banquet brought in many guests from all over Ning Province, including Ji Boda of the Ji Group, which just entered Keishi, as well as Qin Mingyu and Li Nuo. They all appeared at the royal family's manor. The banquet started at 11:30 a.m. The Wangs hosted 23 tables in their manor. All the guests are well-known figures in Ning Province. When I arrived at the Huang family's manor gate, the banquet was about to begin. I signaled the driver to park the car, then walked towards the banquet hall myself. After only a few steps, I heard a mocking voice. If you ask me, this Li Nuo really doesn't know his place. Being accompanied by that freeloader is whatever on normal days. But even for Elder Wang's birthday today, he brought the freeloader along. I didn't need to look to know whose voice it was. I glanced at Jiboda and said nothing, walking straight towards the banquet hall. The banquet hall was already packed. A royal family steward stood at the door. Just as I was about to enter the banquet hall, I was stopped by the steward who looked quite old. Sir, please show your invitation. Invitation? Jiboda's voice rang out from the door. A pretty boy who lives off others. What invitation would he have? Let Li Nuo come and take his own person inside. No manners at all. Jiboda's voice was loud, making many people in the hall turn to look this way. Li Nuo was sitting with his father. Li Nuo's father immediately looked right at me and examined me closely, then looked at Li Nuo with a puzzled expression. He hadn't attended the auction that day, so he didn't know who the Han family's young master was, and was unfamiliar with me. Li Nuo hardly whispered an explanation to his father. After just 2 sentences, Li Nuo's father's face soon became complicated, looking at each other, no longer with the scrutiny of an elder toward a junior. Upon hearing this, the steward at the Huang family's gate said, "So you're Miss Li's friend. Please come in." I glanced around after entering the room. All 23 tables were completely full. I saw that no food had been served at the tables yet. There was a spot reserved for the Han family. I walked silently toward Li Nuo's table. Li Nuo was the only one there I was somewhat familiar with. What I didn't know was that when the Huang family sent an invitation to the Han family, well, it was only with the faint hope that someone from the Han family might attend. They didn't actually expect anyone from the Han family to show up to celebrate Elder Huang's birthday. Once someone from the Han family arrived, they certainly wouldn't be seated in the regular guest section. They would have to be seated at the head table. I walked over and sat down beside Li Nuo. "Young Master Han." Li Nuo's father hurried to greet me in a low voice. "Hello, uncle," I replied very politely. At this moment, Qin Mingyu was sitting at the table directly across from Li Nuo.
He clearly saw
Li Nuo's father chatting warmly with Zhao Han, but he couldn't hear what they were saying. Just watching the relationship between the 2 men, Qin Mingyu felt an indescribable feeling in his heart. He was thinking, if his father could get along with him this well, and if it were him sitting next to Zhao Han, how wonderful life would be. Qin Mingyu began to envy Li Mu for having the right to choose freely. Qin Mingyu's envy and fantasies were interrupted by a voice. "I, Ji Boda, representing the Ji family of An province, wish Elder Huang happiness as vast as the eastern sea, and a life as long as the southern mountain." He walked into the center of the banquet hall, cupping his hands in a respectful bow. The Ji family presents a crane and evergreen jade, and a pine pavilion breeze fan. Many elders present looked at Ji Boda with considerable satisfaction. This person the Ji family sent to Ning province is full of spirit and quite vibrant. After Ji Boda presented the gifts, his gaze swept toward my table. "Li Nuo, since you invited a friend over, you should have your friend stand up and offer a few birthday wishes to the old master, right?" Hearing this, Qin Mingyu's expression changed slightly. Birthday wishes were fine, but on an occasion like this, wishes are followed by gifts. What gift could Zhao Han possibly give? On such an occasion, an ordinary gift simply wouldn't do. Facing the gazes of so many people, I stood up with a calm expression. Seeing my reaction, Ji Boda felt a bit annoyed. He intentionally spoke loud enough for Qin Mingyu to hear. "It seems that to suck up to the Wang family today, this Zhao Han has done a lot of preparation." I looked toward the head table, smiled slightly and said, "I wish Elder Huang health and longevity, filial children and grandchildren, and a happy retirement." As my preparations were rushed, I don't have a grand gift. Knowing that the old master enjoys stamp collecting, here is a stamp as a small token of my esteem. After I finished speaking, I took out the gift box I had prepared from my inner pocket. Upon hearing the word stamp, the 80-year-old Elder Huang immediately became excited. He gestured for the butler to bring the gift box to him. The moment the gift box was opened, Ji Boda was clearly stunned. Qin Mingyu was also taken aback. This was exactly the stamp they had competed for at the auction that day. How could this be? This stamp. Didn't it fall into the hands of the Han family, the richest in Keishi? How did Zhao Han end up giving it away? Elder Huang was also stunned for a moment. When the auction was held in Kaishi, to bid on this stamp, he had sent someone there as well. But upon learning that the Han family had placed a bid, Elder Huang immediately ordered them to give up. He would never compete with the Han family, not even for a single dollar. But now this stamp was right before his eyes. This young man's last name is Han. Could it be? A possibility suddenly occurred to Elder Huang. The thought made his heart race. But then he dismissed the idea. Early this morning, Elder Huang had arranged for someone to look into the Han family's movements. Mr. Han was no longer in the country, and old Chan was attending a dinner at noon. He hadn't heard anything about the Han family sending anyone. Ji Boda's table was very close to Li Nuo's. A shadow of gloom flashed in his eyes. He said loudly, "Li Nuo, it seems you really care about this Xiao Han, going so far as to beg for this stamp from the Han family to give to him. I suppose. This kid Zhao Han usually does quite a lot to keep you happy, doesn't he?" Li Nuo gave Ji Boda a look of disgust. "That's none of your business, President Ji." Hearing this, Elder Wang, who was originally full of joy, showed a trace of regret in his eyes. He shook his head and closed the gift box. "This gift is quite valuable. I cannot accept it." When Elder Huang said it was valuable, he wasn't referring to how much the stamp was worth, but rather the favor from the Han family it represented, and the fact that Li Nuo wanted to use a stamp to buy a stranger's way into their circle. If Elder Huang accepted it today, it would mean telling everyone that he accepts such arrangements. The butler took the gift box and brought it back to my table. Looking at the stamp in front of me, I sighed, stood up and spoke. "There are still 2 stamps of Mr. Wang's edition left. I know one is with you, Mr. Wang. So Mr. Wang really wants to have the other one as well? To hold it in his hands. And this one is with me. Mr. Huang, due to certain reasons, I understand as a younger generation. But personally, in my philosophy, a gift once given is never taken back. So here, as I say this, I open the gift box in front of me, pick up that precious stamp, and then under everyone's gaze, with a gentle force of both hands, this expensive stamp is torn in half." This action shocked everyone. Even Mr. Huang was stunned for a moment, but immediately realized what it meant. A smile appeared on Mr. Huang's face. At Ji Bodai's table, a man in his 50s quietly started clapping, whispering, "This young man is impressive. Truly remarkable." Mr. Huang owns one stamp. He has a stamp that's a collector's item. A so-called collector's item. The most valuable is if it's unique. Why does Mr. Huang want this stamp? He wants to have the whole edition in his possession. But now, this guy just tore up the one he had. The one Mr. Huang owns has become the only one. And its value is now greater than if both stamps were kept together. This gift, Mr. Huang will have to accept it. He can't refuse. Hearing this, Ji Bodai, who was feeling proud, suddenly turned gloomy. Seeing the approving looks from the elders around, I knew how much they appreciated this guy's action, how much recognition he got from them. Mr. Huang looked at the pieces in the other's hand, which had already been torn apart, the stamp debris soaked in tea. He smiled slightly. "Thank you all for coming from afar. Everyone is so polite. Come on. Let's enjoy the food." With one sentence from Mr. Wang,
He wrapped up this matter.
everyone raised their glasses in greeting. Everyone toasted. Mr. Huang whispered to the side, "This young man is good. Ask him to come to my study later. If he's got potential, I'll take him under my wing." The senior manager from the Huang family next to Mr. Wang heard this. He widened his eyes. His look showed a hint of displeasure. But with Mr. Huang nearby, didn't dare say anything. Just nodded. Then secretly gave me a glare. That look was like staring at an enemy. The luncheon ended. I walked inside the Huang estate to get some fresh air in the cold. Right? Suddenly a voice sounded behind me. I turned around. It was a middle-aged man. During the luncheon, he sat beside Mr. Wang. He's a direct member of the Wang family. Saw many people go to him for a toast earlier. His status must be pretty high. I nodded. I'm not that old. But I still acted pretty arrogant. This middle-aged Huang family man looked at me with displeasure. "Didn't Li Nuo tell you to be a bit more humble in the Huang family? Come on, Mr. Wang wants to see you." Hearing Mr. Huang wants to meet with me, I nodded. I pushed the door and entered the study, then closed the door behind me. The moment the door closed, the 2 young guys by the door immediately started complaining to the middle-aged man. "Why does Grandpa want to see an outsider? Does Grandpa really want to groom an heir from outside? That definitely can't happen. Grandpa is already old. He's becoming senile. We can't let an outsider into the Huang family." The middle-aged man stared at the closed door, snorted coldly. "Don't worry, Huang family businesses always stay in the family. A loser who climbed up by relying on women has no right to meddle in our family's business. Inside, Mr. Huang sat alone at his desk, studying a calligraphy piece on the table. Mr. Huang, you asked for me. I entered and glanced at Mr. Huang. Mr. Huang didn't look up at me, just kept his head down while speaking. What do you think of this calligraphy piece? How is it? I stepped forward, looked at the piece on the table, frowned slightly. I don't know about calligraphy. Can't really tell. Mr. Huang burst out laughing. Straightforward. I like that about you. Tell me, what do you want me to help you with? I was puzzled. Mr. Huang, you're mistaken. I actually don't need your help with anything. Mr. Huang slowly put away the scroll on the table, then sat down. Young man, you can't hide your intentions from me. Since you won't say, I'll give you a few options. Let you pick one. First, if anything happens at the market, I can help you out once. Second, whatever you want to do, I can connect you. Third, the Huang family has a business. Though it's not very profitable, it's still ours. I can give it to you as compensation for the stamp. The 3 points Mr. Huang mentioned. Each is incredibly important to those in the circle, especially the third point, a small business, though only worth a few 100,000. But in another sense, it means connecting with the Wang family's power. For me, whether in Ning province or within the Li family, it's a big advantage. Listening to these tempting offers, I shook my head, Mr. Wang. I'm really not interested in any of these things you're offering. Seeing I'm still not giving in, a hint of annoyance flashed in Mr. Wang's eyes. Young man, you still think that's not enough? I admit, what you did today made me see you in a new light. But that doesn't mean you can overstep your bounds here. I sighed. Mr. Huang, let me put it this way.
Actually,
The study door was suddenly pushed open. That middle-aged Huang family man came in with 2 younger members, striding right in. The old man, already a bit annoyed by me, saw this scene and instantly became furious. He slapped the table. Who told you to come in? Dad, please don't get angry yet. The middle-aged Huang family member said, I just had someone check with the Li family. Li family hasn't had any recent contact with the Han family. And I've checked on the auction. The winning bidder was the Han family head. But that Han family head is no longer in China. So where did Li family get the stamp? Mr. Huang, though old, is still sharp after years in business. His mind remains agile. Just a few words, and he got the point. The middle-aged Huang family member seized the chance. The stamp that was torn up has been soaked in water. It's been totally ruined. It's hard to tell if it was real or fake. And who would dare ask? The postage stamp from the Han family's head. Did it actually get delivered to the Li family or not? At this moment, the junior serving tea quickly spoke up. Grandpa, my friend just told me. Li Jia had been negotiating with Lo before, but neither of those projects was finalized. But just now, both deals were signed. Jia Bei, who glanced at me, also hurriedly spoke up. Grandpa, if we're talking about who benefited, Li Jia is actually the biggest winner in all this. With 3 people speaking up in turn, suspicion in old Master Wang's eyes only grew. When he looked at me again, his gaze was already filled with hostility. Grandpa, this person looks a bit familiar to me. I suddenly remembered just now. He seems to be a minor internet celebrity, the type that stars in those short skits. When old Master Huang heard this, he dismissed his last bit of doubt. He turned away and closed his eyes. The message was pretty clear. He wasn't going to interfere anymore. Seeing old Master Huang's attitude, the 3 members of the Huang family all looked visibly pleased. The middle-aged man from the Wang family glared at me. He shouted loudly, Speak up! Just what is your relationship with the Li family? What is your purpose for doing all this? Seeing old Master Huang completely unmoved, I shook my head with a hint of disappointment, turned around and left. Had only taken a couple of steps, when, without warning, the door to the study was pushed open again by someone. The person who entered was... Old Chun entered, laughing as he looked at old Master Wang. Old Wang, long time no see. You're still as healthy as ever. Old Master Chun, you're too kind. Please, have a seat. Old Master Huang's hands trembled. Then he snapped at his eldest son. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and pour tea. Old Chun waved his hand with a smile. No need, old Wang. Don't bother with tea. I'm just here to pick up the young master on my way back. Old Chun's words caught all four members of the Huang family off guard. The Han family's young master came today. How come we didn't hear about that? While the four of them were still stunned, Old Chun walked up to me and bowed slightly. Young master's driver had a family matter to handle earlier, so I told him to go home. Sorry to have kept you waiting, young master. The scene before them made the four members of the Wang family widen their eyes in shock. So this guy is the Han family's young master? At the same time, I also looked at old Master Wang and smiled. Old master. As I said, I really only came here today to wish you a happy birthday. Now that the banquet is over, I'll take my leave. I'll visit again when I have the chance. With that, I walked straight out. Old Huang, let's catch up properly next time when we have the chance. The young master just took over the family business. There's still a lot to take care of, so we won't stay and trouble you further. Old Chun waved at old Master Wang and followed me out. Old Master Huang watched me leave and collapsed into the chair behind him. This guy is actually the Han family's young master. And judging by what old Chun said, the Han family's business has already been handed over to him. Doesn't that mean he's the Han family's future leader? Offending him is offending the entire Han family. And everyone knows what happens if you cross the Han family. Although outside, a lot of people say, the Huang family ranks in the top 3 in Ning province. But old Master Wang knows very clearly, the second and third place families can't compare to the Han family at all. The gap is huge. If the Han family isn't happy, they could completely remove those other 2 family heads from the public eye at any time, now that they've offended the Han family's future leader so badly. This is truly the end. The more old Master Huang thought about it, the colder he felt inside. The funny thing is, he had thought the boy was after something of theirs. The even more ridiculous part is, he listened to these 3 juniors and mistook the Han family's young master for some scammer. Thinking about how those 3 treated young Master Han just now, old Master Huang felt a sharp pain in his heart. If young Master Han can't let this go and tells old Chun what happened just now, the Wang family is doomed. Old Master Huang slammed the table with a loud bang. The 3 all shuddered. With heads lowered, they barely dared to raise their eyes. They could already imagine just how furious old Master Huang was right now. Turns out the internet celebrity actor is impressive. Now you 3 can really say anything. Old Master Huang was so angry he was gasping for breath. When the family faces problems, you never have any advice. But once you see an outstanding young person, you're suddenly full of energy. Don't be mad. I'm just from the Wang family. The middle-aged man tried to explain. Shut up. Old Master Huang roared. His hand trembled as he pointed at all 3. All 3 of you, get out.